Shalom. First and foremost, and give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kodash. Double honor to the apostles, the great millstone, taught me this truth. And blessings all you sincere labors out there pushing this truth in all sincerity and faith and honesty. I'm that fellow servant Kanakala coming at you once again with this truth. And I'd like to thank Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai for putting the spirit on me to do another video, man. And I'm just here to feed the flock of the Most High. Alright. And as you can see here, I got an article. Get right into it from RT.com. It says, expect U.S. to fight back as Russia and China lead BRICS away from dollar trade. All right, this is just posted 2 days ago. All right, it's like actually, yeah, 2 days ago. All right, today is the 3rd. Okay, but it says, and what this title is basically saying, the U.S. is going to have to retaliate because Russia and China lead BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, away from the dollar. Now we know the dollar is the petrodollar is is the world global currency, and if that takes place, all right, that'll be the end of the American Empire, because that's pretty much the strength of the American Empire. All right, is their dollar and their military. Those like their two main superpowers. All right, that they have in their arsenal. All right. But their dollar was established by their military. Okay. So their military and their dollar. It says, while Russia and China's push to reduce the role of U.S. dollar in trade is catching on, don't expect Washington to give up its global economic dominance while they fight, political expert Jack Russell told RT. The two countries' President Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping recently announced their intention to expand the use of their national currencies, the ruble and the yuan, in bilateral financial transactions. All right, so they're looking to expand their spread their legs, so to say, take root, man, and spread their roots, let their roots spread. All right, because the more they get people to use their dollar, all right, the more shots are being fired at the U.S. dollar. Okay, it says the two states have agreed to develop financial instruments for this purpose and sign an intergovernmental agreement to boost cross-currency settlements. Both are also working on their own alternative to the global recognized SWIFT payment system. All right. So it says it's only at the very beginning, and we're talking about only two countries. They're very large countries, and it could be a significant amount of trade in non-dollar currencies or in kind. All right, because Russia and China are superpowers. All right, China and Russia has some of the biggest economies in the world. Okay, so it's not a big difference when you see a little country like Iraq or Libya, but when you see countries with growing economies, all right, China is what supposedly supposed to be the next economy up, the next runner up. So you see countries with these vast economies switching from the U.S. dollar. That's a problem. All right. It says Professor of Political Economy of St. Mary's College of California told RT, while Russia has already called on allied emerging economies, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa, which would be the BRICS acronym, to develop settlement instruments in national currencies. The anti-dollar push will not go unnoticed and will face a response from Washington, according to the analysts. So, usually when it's happened, man, if you don't know, do your research. Libya, look what happened to Gaddafi. All right, and it's Iran, of course, Gaddafi, Libya, Iran. All right, countries that threaten the position of the U.S. dollar. All right, that by saying we're not going to use, all right, the U.S. dollar anymore. You can see the United States did nothing but invade them and overthrow them. Venezuela, another example. All right, even though they have large oil reserves, they wanted to. They started using what it was, cryptocurrencies. All right, to pretty much go around the sanctions that was put on them. All right, using other alternatives besides the U.S. dollar, and everyone has tried or attempted that. They were taken out. So look, Washington, America, they're going to retaliate, man. We don't know how they're going to retaliate, but they're really going to do something carelessly, man. All right, that's going to lead into a third world war. Okay, they're going to retaliate, and the only thing we can do is sit back. The script says sit back and watch, and well, let's pray. So the only thing we can do is sit back and watch their next moves, all right? Because this is a chess game, okay? It says dollar is still the global currency. I think it'll be a fight with BRICS. The U.S. won't stand by and do nothing if BRICS join the China-Russia payment system. Rasmus said, all right? So you got China and Russia payment system. Then you got Brazil, India, and South Africa. They're trying to get them to join that payment system, and they pretty much saying America won't allow it because that's just more countries not using the U.S. dollar but using the yuan or the ruble, okay, which are Russian and the Chinese currency. All right, he says he added, if BRICS countries finally join Russia and China, Washington will definitely take counteractions overtly and covertly to discourage it. You know, and man, look, when America's getting desperate, man. All right, you can see the thing going on with Iran. All right, they're getting desperate, man. So who knows what they're gonna do? All right. So it says the analyst also believes the U.S. is alienating other countries as it imposes sanctions whenever it wants to. All right. So America, since America is the global, has a global currency, the U.S. dollar, they're able to alienate nations, all right, and cut them off from the market and cut them off from trading with everyone because why? They own a global market right now, all right? Because why? Their currency is the number one currency. Okay, so it's like pretty much it's like we created the game, so we call the shots, we make the rules, whether they're fair or unfair. All right, is what we say go. All right, because we're the ones with the money, we're the ones controlling everything. It says, however, the sanctions can easily backfire, as countries will turn away from the U.S. if it continues to use them as a political weapon, according to the expert. So remember earlier in the video how I said that there's two main weapons in the U.S. arsenal. The military, of course, and the U.S. dollar. That's a weapon, all right? Because it says countries will turn away from the U.S. if it continues to use them as a political weapon, all right, according to the experts. So sanctions, all right, when you use sanctions, you're cutting them off from the global market, all right, from being able pretty much to use the U.S. dollar. So what, you're using it as a weapon in form of a sanction, man, all right? And that's a weapon, man. You cutting people off from being able to eat, all right, being able to feed their families, all right, being able to conduct themselves, man. All right, to do business, you cut them off. So that's war, man. All right, and that's not something to be taken lightly. You know, people see war as bullets flying and bombs dropping. No, when you cut a nation off from being able to import and export goods to their people to feed them, yo, that's just as bad as shooting them, man. All right. Because the scriptures speak about starving. All right. It says it's better they that are slain with the sword, all right, than they that die of hunger, man. Okay. And that's what these sanctions do, man. The people suffer from the sanctions. The consumer suffers, man. They don't have the your average Joe. They don't have the ability to import and export goods, man, from America to another country or from whatever country they live. They don't possess that power. So the consumers suffer. All right? The little man suffers, man, when these sanctions take place. All right? They saying what Kim Jong-un was starving his people. No, America is starving their people because they put sanctions on them and don't allow them. All right? Don't pretty much tell everybody in plain terms, don't export anything to North Korea. If you do, you're gonna be found to have sanctions put on you. All right, that's what they're doing. So America is starving them out. Why? All because they're not in compliance or an agreement to the things America wants, man. All right. So it says the use of sanctions is a short-term weapon. It's a weapon, man. All right, because you know your criminals. Because you know you like to say, oh, the criminals, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, thugs walk around carrying guns, but your criminals, all right, the politicians, the governors, the presidents, man. All right, they just in suits, but they pushing paperwork. They're making decrees. They're passing forth laws, man. Those are weapons. All right. So it says, but in the long term, it may come back and bite the U.S. if it pushes too hard. Rasmus noted, if the U.S. continues with strong arming, with sanctions whenever it wants something from another country, then other countries are going to move further in that direction. And that's pretty much what's happening. Russia and China are becoming that safe haven, right, from that oppression, because America is oppressing all these other countries. Now, I have a scripture I want to get, all right? Real simple scripture. Scripture say all scriptures are written for our learning, man. All right, for doctrine and understanding. This 1 Corinthians 14:40. Let all things be done decently and in order. All right. The reason why I brought this scripture out is because before this place is completely bombed and obliterated, all right, and burnt with fire, that financial system has to come down. Because when the financial system comes down, then it brings forth the RFID chip, which would be the replacement of that monetary system. All right, so all things are going to be done decently in order. Until all these things, until this economy dropping, this RFID chip is implemented, World War III will not pop off yet. So this financial system is something to look at. And reason what, and do your history, your research. Every time the financial system of America was about to collapse, they started a war. All right. I want to get Jeremiah 51 real quick, and I'm gonna branch off here. Jeremiah 51. It's concerning Babylon. This is Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon. America's Babylon. All right, it says, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance, and he will render unto her recompense. So this is that time. All right, the Lord is going to systematically break this place down. All things be done decently in order. It's not going to, America's not going to be a completely functioning city. All right, as the scriptures call it, that Babylon, that great city. America's not going to be a completely functioning city, and then all of a sudden missiles are just going to come over and bomb it down. No, man. Yahweh Shai spoke of sedition, race wars, all these things. So all these things must come to pass before you see these missiles being shot upon America. All right, family turned against each other, sedition amongst men, invading, rioting, looting, women getting raped. All right, all these things, turmoils, financial system collapsing. All these things must come to pass before this place is hit with missiles. All right, it says Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and Babylon has been, man. All right, everybody using the U.S. dollar, nobody fighting against them. China and Russia, using the U.S. dollar. There wasn't a BRICS. All right, but what? It says, hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right. Ultimately, that's the democracy, right, and the philosophies they push. But what's another part of that wine, which is part of democracy, all right, as the article stated, putting sanctions, man, on people, man. It's a weapon. All right. Them countries drinking that cup, that shot in the form of that sanction, swallowing that, drinking that hard liquor, man. All right, that cup, which is that judgment of that sanctions, and what? They mad, man. All right. Drunken off of sanctions. I'm tired of you putting sanctions on us, man. I'm tired of you oppressing us. You know what? We just gonna move to the BRICS. We gonna move to Russia and China, man. And then what? The U.S., man, is gonna retaliate, which is gonna ultimately lead up to a third world war, man. All right. It says Babylon is fallen and suddenly destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. So what? Right now, those countries are wounding the US dollar, man, by switching and using their own currency. That's a wound, man. And you think they're gonna be like, okay, let's stop using the ruble, let's stop using the yuan, and let's start using the US dollar so America can stay afloat. All right, because we're wounding them, we're hurting them by not using their money. No, they're not going to turn back from that. This is the Lord putting that wound upon America, man. Wound in the head, man. All right, it says we should have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. All right, but she ain't healed. All right, forsake her and let us go everyone to his own country, for a judgment reaches unto the heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, so begin to watch the Most High plague this place. All right, and bring this place down to their knees, man. All right, and this is the beginning of sorrows. All right, so get ready. You know, the first effect of this is going to be inflation and the prices rising upon your victuals. All right. So with that, Lord willing, you edify him. We give all praise going unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honor to the elder apostle, the great millstone, taught me this truth. And blessings all you sincere labor out there pushing this truth. And all sincerity and faith and honesty. Shalom, Akim.